I am next in line for VP when Bradley takes over for his father tomorrow.
Your father promised her a promotion.
Did he? As an executive, I see no value in you. Does that make sense?
What?
We have the merger coming up. Prove me wrong. Oh, Linda, before you go, I forgot to mention I've received a few complaints about you.
Complaints?
Noxious odors.
Oh, God.
Bring her, and then we'll ship her out.
Check this out.
I'm Linda Little. I want to be the next
So, Send Help is the newest release featuring Rachel McAdams, Rachel McAdams, and directed by Sam Raimi. Therefore, I walked in with elevated expectations because this is the sort of artistic fulfillment that I live for. And especially after game night where Rachel McAdams was hilarious. That's actually the last comedy that I think I'd ever watched in theaters. I was definitely checking out Send Help, and therefore this is going to be my nice spoiler review. Before you go on, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, as well as hitting that notification bell to receive updates on all new movies, TV shows, and reviews dropping. This is going to be a very concise review because I'm not feeling so well. I'm quite under the weather. Therefore, let's jump right in.
Getting us out of here should be your focus, not being Susie Homemaker.
You do know you would have died out there.
Yeah, how do you think that would have worked out for you? Are you gonna hunt a boar? Linda from accounting?
Strategy and planning, actually. You ever hunt? I think I like it.
Send Help features one of the most insane premises. So picture this. You have the worst working relationship with your boss, and you're overlooked and underestimated at work by this boss, and you have the worst working relationship. However, the both of you end up trapped on an island together, and you have to work together to survive. That's like a nightmare for any of us, right? So that's the thing that drew me in, that made me want to watch this movie. Not only that, but the star power that Rachel McAdams brings, because I know she has great comedic timing, she's a great actress, as well as Jan O'Brien. So Rachel McAdams plays the role of Linda. Linda is one of the most hardworking employees at this company, and the employer happens to pass away and the son takes over. The son is played by Dan O'Brien, who's the biggest trust fund asshole baby you could ever think of. Any stereotype, he harbors it. And so Linda is up for promotion for VP of the company. However, the new MD has other plans where he installs his friends and overlooks Linda. Now, Linda is one of the most overlooked and underestimated employees of this company. She's treated horribly by people. She's a bit awkward. She has very awkward tendencies, and she has a hard time forming those social relationships.
Oh.
Still working on the company report?
I finished that last week. I'm right behind you.
Oh. No, they shrunk it down to a smaller group. But don't worry, don't know who did the heavy lifting.
As an executive, I see no value in you.
Linda has a fascination for survival tactics. She applies to go for the reality show called Survivor, and therefore she's skilled in surviving in the wilderness. That's something that comes into play later on. Unfortunately, on their way to close a deal in Bangkok, they end up having a plane crash and end up stranded on an island. That is Linda and Bradley, the new CEO, and they have to try and live together and survive until rescue arrives. When you talk about Bradley, what I liked about Jan O'Brien's character as well is he's a trust fund baby. He's spoiled, he's an asshole, but he's also human, and we get to see that he has layers to him. He has depth, he has things that are likable about him, despite him being despicable most of the time, and he works so well off against Rachel McAdams. So the dynamic is what kind of this movie. It's very funny at times, it's very touching at times. I will say this, it's marketed in 3D, which was quite queer, but when you go into the jungle, you tend to see why. The 3D pops when they are stranded in the jungle. There's a hunting scene that's very violent, and it comes through really well through the 3D. And as much as it's marketed as a comedy, it's not really that funny. It has funny instances, but trust me, for the most part, this is a very serious movie. It has moments of levity that are peppered throughout, but they're very fun few, which I like because I'm tired of goofy comedy. This is one of those well done dark comedies. Now, what I loved about this movie, more so than anything else, is the messaging. I think this movie has the best messaging in the sense that how you treat people reflects upon your character, and how people are the way they are because of how they're treated by the world, by the people they trust, by the people in power, and how someone is supposed is forced to be decent at times, even in a decent one. And I think that's the best aspect about this movie. It says so much without preaching to you. And there's an instance where Linda was in her car having this monologue, which I found very heartfelt and touching. And it's so reminiscent of the scene in The Help where Viola Davis's character has this sort of affirmation to herself in the mirror. And this has a similar scene, and I felt like that was very touching. And that messaging alone makes this movie really, well put for me. And throwing now Rachel McAdams' performance as Linda. Linda is she's a bit strange, a bit awkward, but she's lovely. She cares for other people, and in as much as she's overlooked by many people, she still looks out for them regardless. And now in this case, when she's stranded with Bradley on the island, she still looks out for him. Now I won't go into it because now that's most of the movie takes place on this island, but I think this movie shares a lot of similarities with the first Joker movie, where Arthur Fleck is treated horribly by society, and therefore he turns out in the way that he is. And Linda also is the same, and therefore her characterization carries this movie. There are certain revelations and things that happen throughout this movie that explain, that I won't go into because of spoilers.
How valuable to the company am I now? No help is coming. This is how things are now. Not in the office anymore. You are stuck with an asshole boss, just like I was. Although I'm betting I am a much nicer boss than you ever would have been. Except for maybe this part.
As far as what I didn't like about the movie is concerned, well, there's something that happened in the third act. It was so sudden and it felt a bit off-field. And I think it takes away from what was established in the first 2 thirds of the movie. I think it might work for some people, but for me, I don't know. It just felt like it took away from what came before, and it did damage rather than help push the plot forward. But I think the movie had to come to a conclusive end, and therefore that's why they made that choice. However, I didn't sit well with me. I think it just, it took me out of it. I'm not going to talk about it. You'll see it when you watch the movie. However, yeah, that sort of dark points from this movie for me. In a way, it's very enjoyable, and I'm glad I turned out to check it out. And I think this is one is going to end up on many people's best movie of the year. And I think this is my first movie this year that I'm going to give a high rating, and I think it's going to end up on my list as well. So if you do get a chance, come check out Send Help. It's very good, it's very funny, it's very engaging and entertaining, and you're going to have a good time all around. And therefore, I'm going to give it a rating of 8 out of 10. So if you do like these reviews, then don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to let YouTube know that you enjoy what you're watching. See you on the next one. Cheers.